Hey, welcome back. My name's Mr. Ledbetter. I'm here with my old pal Wrenchy. Say hey, Wrenchy.
Hey, everybody.
And today we're going to look at lawnmower maintenance. Now, the number one thing you can do for your lawnmower is keep the oil changed.
Oh.
So if you're just a residential type lawnmower, then you probably only need to change it at the beginning of the year. But if it's a commercial mower, you're going to want to look into changing it a lot more often. Changing the oil is one of the most important things. There are other maintenance aspects. One is keeping the air fins clean of debris, and you can do that simply by just blowing the mower off each time you're done. Another maintenance item is the air filter. This particular air filter is a dual element air filter, which means that it has an outside and an inner comb. This is the best air filtration type because it really does a good job of keeping the dirt out of the oil. Once dirt gets into the oil, it begins to grind away at the engine parts, and then the only way to get that dirt and the oil out is to change the oil. This particular lawnmower has an air filter and an oil filter. So the oil filter is going to remove some of that, but not all. And that is why it's important, especially on engines that don't have an oil filter, to change the oil regularly. Before you change your oil, you're going to want to make sure you get your oil. I have 2 quarts here, along with something to get the oil filter off and some wrenches. I like to use these adjustable wrenches, and then I also have my new oil filter. Wrenchy, what do you got, Wrenchy? What is that?
I found this.
You brought your buddy with you? Okay. This particular lawnmower is equipped with a hose to make the changing of the oil easier. So we run this mower for about 5 minutes to get the oil warm, and so now we're going to drain the oil.
You need to get rid of those oil filters, Mr. Ledbetter. That's the worst oil I ever seen.
And we're going to let that drain until it just drips out. The best way to clean your air filter is just to take it and knock. You see all that dirt coming out of there? All that could be dirt that gets into your engine. This type of air filter really only needs to be changed once a year. If you have any other type of air filter, you're going to want to change it frequently, especially if leaf season or high dust situations. Alright, I've got my old oil filter off, and now it's time to put on the new filter. So I'm just going to get a little bit of oil and put it around the O-ring, and then I'm going to spin it on. Now you're supposed to put this on 1/4 turn past hand tight. And so for that I'll just use my wrench. As you can see, we're down to a drip here, so I'm going to add the plug back in. And this is important. I want to make sure that I tighten down so that I don't have any leaks. Then I'm going to slide my tube back here. Now I'm ready to put my oil in. And the best procedure for this is to put some in and then check it, and put some in and check it. But I know that this particular engine takes 2 quarts, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in. As you can see, if it's below add, I'm going to add, and then in between is fine, and of course we have our upper line, which is the fill line or full line. Alright, Wrenchy, not all oil is the same. I used to think that, but it's actually not. Some newer engines have hydraulic lifters. If that's the case, you've got to get the oil that they recommend. Otherwise, they'll get air in between the hydraulic lifters, and that'll cause it to sound like it's knocking. So you want to make sure that you are following the proper manufacturer's specifications for oil. Alright, this engine calls for 10W40, but if you've got an engine that does not have a filter and is a engine that you're not sure about the oil, then the best choice would be just straight SAE 30.
Supervised agricultural experience. Just kidding. Society of Automotive Engineers.
All right, now that our oil's in, we're going to just double check. So wrenchy, as you can see, there's nothing on the stick. And then I'll check, and you see that we're right up past
Man,
full
that don't
there,
look
and we're
fresh.
actually ready to go out and do some work. Once you're done changing your oil, you want to make sure you run the engine and check for leaks. Let's look at some blades. Blades are important because that's what's going to cut your grass. So a lot of people thank you, Wrenchy, for holding this blade for me.
It's heavy, so hurry.
A lot of people think that they can just sharpen this blade and it will work fine, but actually there's two parts of the blade. There's the cutting edge and then the lifting edge. This blade's been used, and as you can see, it still could possibly be sharpened and used because the backside, which creates the lift, is still intact. What that does is suck the grass up so that the blade can come across and cut it level.
That's pure science,
This is a new blade, and as you can see, a new blade has a nice lifting edge and also a nice cutting edge.
Man, that thing pretty.
Sorry about your hat, Richie. What causes this is sand and grit over time going by and actually sanding that down and grinding it off like a sandblaster. That's what causes that, and you have a lot of that
Hey, man, you be
in
recording
Wilson,
this, man.
Nash
My hair look
counties because most of the soil is sandy soil. So you're going to see this a lot more often. I hope this helps. Have a blessed day.
Peace out.